was a typo, and I'm like, welcome to Under Two Capes. I am Jared. I'm here with Robert. So, Robert, I'm in a little bit of a crisis.
Tell me about it. I've been having an identity crisis lately.
Yeah, so we're gonna be discussing. We're comparing Heroes in Crisis to Final. Wait, wrong one. Identity Crisis.
Well, it is the event that started things off that eventually led to Final Crisis.
Yeah, exactly. A Heroes in Crisis versus Identity Crisis. And here's the thing. All right, none of these stories are actual crises. Just want to be clear on that. But
Yep.
But they all have like similar like ideas. And then Cameron says, honestly, give me Identity Crisis because one of my biggest controversies with yeah, exactly. So here's the thing. Do you want to go over Heroes in Crisis or Identity Crisis?
Identity first. All
right, so Identity Crisis is a straight murder mystery story, which pretty well executed. Of course, Brad Meltzer wrote about that stuff in novels, so of course he'd be good at it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so excuse me. And so basically, Sue Dibney is killed.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to figure out who it is. Whoever did it knows the secret identity of the superheroes because they start sending notes to the loved.
Yep.
To the loved ones of all the superheroes, saying, "Hey, none of you are safe."
Exactly.
So a lot of different things happen in this. This is also the one, yes, where Deathstroke takes on the entire Justice League.
Yep. Well, a portion of the Justice League.
Which
includes Flash, Zatanna, Black Canary, Green Arrow, and Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, and the Atom.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's the interesting thing. This is very similar to a Marvel story. Now, it's a Marvel story that came out after this, but I'm seeing parallels here. So the crux of Identity Crisis is, well, one of the main cruxes, and that will lead to big repercussions later, is the heroes have been mind wiping the villains to make them more docile, if you will.
Now, the funny thing is, though, this goes all the way back to an actual Silver Age comic that never really that you never really thought about because back then you didn't think about it. But it was a case of what they raised a perfectly good question, which was it was a story where the secret society of supervillains and the Justice League swapped, and they asked the important question: you didn't think they didn't look?
Well, here's the other thing, Robert. That story led to another story.
Mm-hmm. Why, what?
For those that don't know, that's the story. Well, it didn't lead to it, but it's the story that they linked to with Tower of Babel.
Yes.
That's why Batman made the contingency plans.
Well, no, that was Silver Age that linked to it.
No, but but
the story. No, I mean the event Silver Age is what was linked.
Yeah, but I mean the crux of that with the switching bodies thing, because Batman says, "Hey, if you guys are ever mind controlled, go evil, or the villains take over your bodies, I need a way to take you down."
Right.
But anyway, so that's what this is. Now, here's the thing: the mind wiping the villains to make them more docile.
No, that was too far. That was too far.
Well, yeah, but it's very similar to the Pleasant Hill storyline for Marvel.
Oh yeah.
That I didn't realize that until right now. That I'm like, oh yeah, that's a very similar story. By the way, Dave says Identity Crisis is a far better story. It didn't make the heroes look bad. I'm gonna dispute that, Dave. It's just a moral dilemma, and they really did. All they really do is mind wipe a great.
But they retconned that into it,
and they mind wiped Batman.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing, though. Up until this point, Dr. Light was just a goofy villain who was actually able to take on the Justice League.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't a grapist.
And here's the other thing. I'm sorry. They should have deleted anyway. No, not the League. The League would not. That's not an option.
Now, exactly. Now,
But like I said, up until this point now, this was Meltzer trying to explain something. Again, like, how did he go from being someone who could take on the Justice League to becoming a complete goofball with the Teen Titans? Funny thing, and which is something even Wolfman would agree they made him a goof, because that's why they created the Kimiyoshi Dr. Light, because he was too much, and the Arthur was too much of a wuss.
yeah, exactly.
But
Now,
not this way.
yeah, not like this, to quote "He Who Must Not Be Named." Not like this.
Mm.
But so the idea is, all right. Now the guy is obsessed with grape disgusting. Not Meltzer.
No, that was something Judd Winnick did with the character, and only Judd Winnick. But even when Jeff wrote Dr. Light afterwards, he still wrote him as a just more. Became more serious. Nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea is that they think it's Dr. Light because they think Dr. Light got his mind back and is taking revenge on the Justice League.
Which ironically, they actually caused him to get it back.
Yeah, exactly. It would lead to that, but
Yeah.
well, let me put it this way: it's logical to think that, but the problem is that's not what happens. What happens is, it is. Do you want to reveal who it is, Robert?
It was Jean Loring, wife of the Atom, and Ray Palmer Atom, but again, this actually has some justification because she actually did go kind of psycho way back during Sword of the Atom, which led to her divorce in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. And then Dave says, Batman kind of deserted. He was a white knight. And okay, I'm gonna. Okay, here's the thing.
I'm sorry. I have my hand on my face for this. Sorry.
Okay, here's the thing. Batman is right. Here's why. Because it's a very slippery slope if you start like mind wiping the villains to make them more like conducive to society.
And again, it ended up screwing him up in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, everyone, this event is what is one of the contributing factors to Batman creating Brother Frickin' Eye.
Which understandable.
Oh, it's very understandable. You kidding me? And particularly now, yeah.
Yep. And here's the other thing: Batman again. It's like, no, we do not cross this line either. This is just as bad as killing if we're going to just alter them. Now, I'm pretty sure Batman would never have been against the mind wipes in theory, but the mind messing.
Yeah, exactly. Because here's the thing, and Robert's right. It's technically the same thing as killing someone.
Yeah, you're basically they're changing their identity.
Yeah, lock them up. Do whatever you need to. Lock them up. That's fine.
And again, removing the memories, so long as it's just like within the immediacy.
Because here's the thing. If you do that, what's to stop you from doing that to other villains inevitably for lesser crimes?
I know. The only reason why they didn't do it again is because Zatanna refused.
At the very least, he should. Well,
that's what Superman in Earth 2 Superman did during his take on living the events. But that led down a slippery slope too.
Yeah, inevitably it does. But that's a more moral like decision process, a choice, than just straight up changing someone's identity like that.
But just to make that clear, even doing that is a slippery slope.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. There's not a lot of very perfect options here.
Yeah, and the reason why it's a slippery slope, because it is cruel and unusual. Doing it to one person, yes. Doing it to every villain afterwards, which it would lead to, because the villains would get just as bad as Dr. Light did.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're going to eventually get to a point where people are going to feel that's a problem.
Yeah, exactly. But so the idea here is that but I love Wally's reaction to finding out they mind wipe Batman, because he left before Batman came in. He goes, "You don't mind wipe Batman, he's gonna kill us."
Yep, and I also like how it's actually a blink and you'll miss it. Because when you saw the original attack, like what happened. But then when Dr. Light remembered, you see Batman there, but no one brings it up until the very end.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, but here's the other thing. Unfortunately, we did have some. Now, to go with what was said earlier, that, no one was shown weak, Firestorm. He went down like a witch.
Mm-hmm.
Rhymes with witch.
I know what you're referring to. Yeah, he kind of did.
I'm sorry. They had to beat. They eventually, in his own story, had to BS the reason, saying, "Oh, because he used his power so much more, he eventually became less human." They had to justify it elsewhere.
He became less human. That is a weak ass.
What did they have? What choice did they have?
No, I know, but it's like replacing a bad situation with an even worse situation.
I don't. They do that, but that's what they know. Like so, and it was the whole. It was more the more he kept on changing. Like altering atoms and everything. It made him more like a nuclear bomb ready to go off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But so there is that, and I kind of, and so in terms of like how it fares as a story, I do like the twists and turns that it goes on. This is also when Tim Drake's dad gets killed.
Again, all because they really wanted to use this, and then fortunately it was to push him to become more like Bruce, which again, a problem.
Yeah, because that's the thing about Tim. The reason why Tim is such a great Robin is he has Bruce's intelligence, but not his social awkwardness, if you
Until this story.
Until the story, right, exactly.
Yep, and you have that. You also have actually I just forgot. I gotta grab my the hardcover because there was something I was gonna reveal.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because it's about Rags Morales, how he actually uses, celebrities as basis.
Question, do you have it signed?
By Rags, yes, not by Meltzer.
You SOB. And then Cameron says he shouldn't have been killed, and then Dave says it's definitely better than deleting them or letting them escape and delete countless more people.
No.
Yeah. That's
may I Dave? Do you want to know what happened in the events? What happened? They kept on just tossing every villain in there, and eventually led to some of the villains who weren't captured realizing we got to play nice, and then secretly plan to undermine it because we ain't gonna get tossed in there.
Remember, Injustice Superman started tossing people in there.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, that's what happened. They eventually it leads to people needing to plan and prepare. They're not gonna be like, okay, we'll be good. They're gonna be like, we're gonna fake being good so we can then undermine everything.
But I love Cameron. You should know by now, Jared. Of course, he has it signed.
Not everything.
Everything we just happened to cover.
Okay, here are the actors for Elongated Man. Danny Kaye with a hint of Dick Van Dyke, which apparently Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore were the original models for Ralph and Sue back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Sue Dimney, Dawn Wells, Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island,
Okay.
Fireheart, Patty Hearst, the woman known for what's it called? Stockholm Syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Green Arrow, Len Staley, the deceased lead singer of Alice in Chains. Jean Loring, Leslie Ann Warren, Miss Scarlet from Clue. The Atom, a young Paul Newman. Batman, in the unmasked flashback sequence, Tom Selleck sands the mustache. Wally West Flash, Brad Pitt.
Of course.
Barry Allen Flash, John Hurt. Zatanna, Phoebe Cates.
Okay.
Black Canary, a mixture of Rebecca Romaine Stamos and Michelle Pfeiffer.
I could see that.
And Superman was more of an amalgamation of things. He said he was trying to go for.
Because these villains already have godlike heroes and governments bearing down on them. I'm sure they're plenty careful and sneaky already.
Yeah, but dude, what I'm saying is they find a way to release all of the villains, leading to a big, practically the equivalent of a prison riot.
Exactly. It's a little more complicated than that.
Nightwing, Johnny Depp, Starfire, Naomi Campbell, Wonder Woman, Julie Strain. Hold on, let me see who that is.
Yeah, I was like, who the hell is that?
Julie Strain. American actress and model. Passed away a couple of years ago.
I could see that.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
I could see that.
Yep, definitely.
Here, everyone. I'll share screens so you guys. I could have seen her playing Wonder Woman.
Yep. Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Yep. Kyle Rayner. At Ethan Van Sciver's suggestion, a Calvin Klein model.
Yeah, I could see that. That works. Well done,
Uh,
EVS.
mm-hmm. Here's what he said for Vixen. I was trying for Grace Jones, but somehow she became Gina Davis. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
Shining Knight, who is British, John Cleese.
Oh, yeah.
The Calculator, James Woods.
Mm-hmm.
I could so see that.
Yep, exactly.
Captain Boomerang, Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, I could see that. Oh,
Merlin, Green Arrow's rival, Ricardo Montalban.
okay.
Owen, the one that took over as Captain Boomerang, Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
Phobia and Dr. Moon, Carolyn Jones, the original Morticia from Addams Family, and Jerry Lewis.
Oh, I guess that works.
Felix Faust, Leonard Nimoy, and Mirror Master, Eric Roberts.
Okay, that's interesting. So it's like when you get continuing on with Identity Crisis, the thing about this is that it sets up a lot of stuff that will be paid off in actually 2 crises, because you have Identity Crisis for the OMAC stuff and Brother Eye, and then you have stuff that starts with Final Crisis and 52. And wait, so this is really one of those is it worth it situations, though. Would have been immoral if in Tower of Babel the people that Mindwipe Bruce said that said that what they did to Dr. Light was the only way.
He wouldn't have listened.
He wouldn't have listened. That is very correct.
That's the reason why they did in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Now, but I would say this. Can I give one big criticism to this book?
Mm-hmm.
It's a horrible mystery.
Okay, in what way?
They set up everything to point to Adam, and then they had to BS it with Gene Loring.
Okay.
They had to swerve. That was a last fake swerve. They had to justify everything.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Everything was leading towards it. Even the last page had Ray give a very creepy smile, and then they retcon in the very next issue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. What?
I'll give you that. But yeah, so let's move on to let's get into a personal crisis, shall we? So
Heroes in Crisis. Yeah.
Now, again, from a storytelling idea of the heroes having PTSD and having a place that they can go to relieve their trauma, that's not a bad idea in and of itself. I want to be very clear about this.
Heck, the idea that the heroes themselves went about it the wrong way is not that bad of an idea, because none of them are doctors.
Some of them are.
No, I meant of the Trinity.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Now, here's the thing again. So this was one of those DiDio things, but let me put it this way. It was an idea that, so people wonder, why did Tom King use all these characters and stuff in it? But it's like, these are the ones that he was allowed to use. Be clear,
Or even told to use.
Even told to use. Now, the way he used those characters, that's all on him.
No, but here's the answer though. The story clearly deviated big time as it was coming out.
Yep.
If you look at the solicitations, it had a much better way it was going, which was the computer system is the one responsible for everything.
That would have been so much better. Yeah, hell yeah.
But instead, they had to have it be Wally.
Well, it's not just Wally. So Wally had a breakdown, ran into the internet, into the computer, literally into the computer, and saw all of their trauma, and then had a mental breakdown.
Oh, and also showing that Tom King didn't know how the Speed Force works at all. Had it be, I must always be containing the Speed Force, otherwise it gets beast. That's not how it works!
Yeah, exactly. The other thing, and this is the one time I'm going to defend Lois. I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
So, okay, Robert, what does Tom King have Lois do in this story?
Oh, she gets all the data and everything. And what did she try to do? Print as a story.
Now, here's the thing.
Now,
This
Lois would smell a good story, but even she knows when to pull a story.
because she knows that this could have major blowback on her husband. Number one. Number two, the idea that King had was, he had Lois say it's a story, so that makes it seem like she's putting her career over the safety of her husband. Number one. Number two, the other part that's kind of stupid about this is as she's like, hey, if I don't publish it and maybe get ahead of it, they're going to release it anyway. Superman could literally go, hey, Victor, log on to the internet and delete these damn files. You're the god of technology.
Exactly.
What? And again, you know it's bad when I am saying this character assassination of Lois sucks.
Funny you've turned around on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Originally, you were saying, nope, it happened, it counts.
No. It still counts. It's just stupid.
That's what I kept telling you.
Yeah, it still counts. It's just stupid.
Because, again, Lois has pulled stories for less.
And here's the other thing. So then King does this really stupid, because one of the suspects of the Heroes in Crisis event is Harley Quinn. So
All right, fair. All right, fair.
I love NJ. Jared, that you? So Harley Quinn takes out, and by take out, I mean takes out the entire Trinity. And then Superman goes, she's good, Bruce. Maybe even as good as you.
Okay.
What?
I could say this. Harleen, maybe.
Harley Quinn. Harley,
no. Harleen, maybe.
the super intelligent one, maybe. And maybe that's what he was going for. But again, you didn't show it.
And again, she is very different. And Harley can never access what Harleen knows. It's been made very clear.
Exactly. And then you have the bullshit, like, moments with the little TV screen where it's like...
I kind of like some of them I like. Like, okay, let's be honest. Can we agree the Black Canary one was the best?
Where she's like, F this, and just walks...
And there's nothing...
I love that. But the Hal Jordan one, what even is willpower? I don't know.
He tried to explain it, and he didn't explain it well.
He tried to explain it, but it's the most stupid thing in the... Because I'm like, okay, you're trying to go philosophical with it. Where is that in the book?
And then having Kimio say she doesn't like her name because it's connected to him.
Yeah, and I'm like...
Meaning
no.
the Arthur.
And then he had Diana tell this really convoluted story about like her being a child or something like that. But once again, this is the first time he would screw up Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's...
Oh, and here's the other thing. He brought back a bunch of characters who had died and has to kill them off again.
I know.
It's like this is for many of them, like Kid Devil or Lagoon Boy. They were dead. And he reveals, oh, they're back. Oh, bye-bye.
And the idea, one of the rooms of Heroes in Crisis allows you to like relive your trauma. So Lagoon Boy's one is just being killed over and over and over again.
Again, how did that help?
How does that help and not make it infinitely worse?
And that's also why it's everyone. And now I will say this: if there's one thing I will say is, this also did show the one major negative side effect of Superman Reborn,
which is
Superman forgot that the twins existed.
The twins.
Wally's kids.
Oh.
Because originally he did. When he and Wally met up, he said, "We'll find them." And then he forgot. He forgot because they remerged, and that meant like he went to. Oh wait, who are they?
Oh yeah, because it's technically another Superman.
Yeah, because I am not blaming King on this one when you have that into it as a good justification.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's fine because yeah, that's beyond his control. But again, it's like, and then again, here's the problem with Heroes in Crisis, among other things. It came out the worst time because you already have the other BS that DC was doing with Wally West.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Heroes in Crisis show up and make him a murderer.
Mm-hmm. And then try to cover it and then try to commit its own suicide.
commit his own suicide and then drop the blame on Booster Gold
And Hurley.
and Harley. I love where Harley sees Wally and just knees him in the nuts because of what he did.
Yep. Oh, and they go up Ivy, and she's the only one who survived it.
Well, because she comes back as a plant woman, and
then in the Harley and Ivy mini, they completely undo that.
Well, yeah, that is really funny. A lot of what that man does instantly gets undone. Again, all Identity Crisis did was realistically portray heroes in a moral dilemma, even if you don't agree with them placing the dilemma. Yeah, Heroes in Crisis is nothing but character assassination.
Okay, now let's say this. I do think what happened in the last few issues was an editorially-driven direction.
Okay.
I think, well, again, the solicitations show it. And also, when you realize it became less about Sanctuary after issue 3. And it became more just about Wally.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Nothing in the computer points to... I mean, nothing in the first few issues points to the computer.
No, well, that's true. But to be fair, there are some, when you look at how, again, maybe the whole, what's on the Lagoon Boy was the computer doing it and not him. And he just thought, oh, is this my treatment? Okay. Possible.
It's possible. But it's like, well, let me put it this way. I'm very like, obviously, one of King's vices is that whenever he gets heat, he will deflect blame on other people. That's why I'm a little bit like, I think it's... To a
point, but I do feel, given DiDio's, how he's done to Wally, it does feel like they were railroaded to this.
That is very true.
That's the other thing, because, again, I say what you want about King, if this is a mini-series, he would have saw through to the end his original idea. That got thrown, but then that got thrown out the window by the end.
It was a mini series.
I know, exactly. I'm saying because it was a mini, you know he would have, but instead it got thrown out the window.
No, I've read crappy mini series by him, like.
But I'm saying no. He sees the original story beat and and everything to the end.
Maybe he just changed his mind.
Maybe, or again, maybe it was editorial who told him, go this direction because we have this in mind for Wally.
Yeah, I mean that's very true. I'm not gonna say like no, it's not, but it's believable for DC at that point. So I'll give you that. But the other thing about like
Mask of Shy even put it. Yeah, it says never ending anything conclusive. Exactly, because that wasn't the point.
And then NJ says, NJ makes regular humans and Batman lower super OP and godlike beings like Catwoman soloing 3, Flash and Harley soloing the Trinity, but he makes established super characters weak like Wonder Woman. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. If he wants you to like a character like Trinity, like Catwoman or something like that, he does do that. And ironically, the character he says he's trying to make you like, he makes you dislike. Isn't that that's very humorous the way that turns out. But it's like the big problem there with the story is like so many people stopped buying DC comics in general because of Heroes in Crisis. You know what it was? I think I attribute Heroes in Crisis to stopping the momentum of DC Rebirth.
Definitely. I think a lot would agree with that.
That's the point when a lot of people say that's when Rebirth ended. Yep.
Oh, quick thing. That actress, Julie Strain, she was married to Kevin Eastman, I just read.
Oh, cool. That's dope.
And she actually modeled for Simon Bisley, too.
Oh, okay. But it's like, obviously, we prefer Identity Crisis over Heroes in Crisis. I think
definitely
it's very true. And it's like again, the idea. Here's the problem. Here's King's chief issue. He has good ideas, just really real. Well, not always. He has good ideas. Most of the time, he has good ideas. Just he's really crappy at executing on those ideas.
Exactly. And now, like I said, though, with Meltzer, I'll put it this way. Should this have been such a, we might, especially for one of his, not his first, but it's like a second DC work. Should he really have been putting something that this would be this much of a shakeup? That's where it's up in the air. This should have been such a everything changes here.
Cameron says, now, who would you say did their marketing better?
Okay, not counting what came afterwards, Heroes in Crisis, I think, did the marketing better. Identity Crisis was more of a shocker, like a surprise out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I will say, now, Identity Crisis has fantastic covers by Michael Turner. I do like a lot of the covers in Heroes in Crisis. The creative ways that, like, Clayman put Heroes in Crisis in the image.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. So, again, that gets into King's other issue. He has crappy writing, but he gets the best artist. The only reason why he sells even as remotely as good as he does.
By the way, can I tell you one of my favorite moments in Identity Crisis?
What?
It's when they're about ready to, I think they're threatening to interrogate some of the criminals. You have just Wonder Woman just come by and we just see the lasso. Nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. They go up to a slip knot. And I especially love this part. To my surprise, he's not staring at her rack. He's smart. He knows the real action is what, about 12 inches lower and attached to her hip. The only lie detector test designed by Zeus.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Slipknot, the man that can climb anything. I have to.
But I love that. But that was also when Meltzer realized, yeah, I wasn't like I really wanted to draw Diana again properly, and like for this moment. But then it's like, no, it should be just seeing her focus on the lasso.
And Dave brings up, how do we rate the awesome Deathstroke fight? Now, there were great moments in that. Like, again, no, I like where he was just holding his sword out and Wally ran into it because he goes, no, you always attack from the same angles.
Yes. It could, because he dealt with him as Kid Flash, it understands.
Yeah. But anyway, what are your issues with that fight, Robert?
What the biggest one? So apparently he was able, and then Deathstroke is able to, just by grabbing onto Kyle's hand, try and counter and almost make the ring work for him.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. No.
And then NJ asks, was Poison Ivy's cover in Heroes in Crisis controversial? What cover?
Oh. And I think there was one with blood and everything.
Poison Ivy Heroes in Crisis. Let me see that cover. That was the Oh, you mean the wristlet?
Yep.
Oh. Here's the cover, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
DC actually had to respond, so they censored it because originally it was like in the darkness, in the light like this, but it turns out they like darkened it a little bit or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see why that would piss people off. Yeah. I can see why that would be a little controversial.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but it's like, do you like Meltzer's Justice League one? It's underrated in my opinion.
Yeah,
I love it.
One downside is it only lasted 12 issues, and it was just 2 story arcs and 2 one-shots.
Yeah, it is one of the most underrated and underappreciated eras of Justice League. Like,
yeah, but again, the main thing is, though, it's only one main story when you really think about it. That was the first 6 issues. The second one was a tie-in with Jeff Johns on JLA JSA, and then again, just two one-shots.
Yeah. It's a shorter run, but it does also set up and lead to the McDuffie era, which is also really great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the point is, I love that run. We even did an episode about that.
Yep, we did, including really McDuffie's run and Robinson's run too, because it was the same volume.
Yeah, it was the same era of the team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and it's like, so the thing about this, about why do we pick these two stories to compare them? Let's talk about that.
Because Well, here's one thing. People were making the comparison between a Heroes in Crisis and Identity Crisis already.
Yeah, exactly. They really were, because these stories have like these stories are both a murder mystery story. Obviously, they lead into different directions,
And both are also very grounded.
but as stories that have the crisis title in the story can be, yes.
Well, yeah, well, because these aren't actual; these are crises of a different nature.
Yeah. It's not like the multiverse is ending or there's going to be a reboot crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And Cameron says, honestly, Heroes in Crisis, it didn't need to happen because it takes away the impact the Sanctuary can have. Or they could have followed it up. And I love when at the very last episode of Young Justice, when they bring up, we need a sanctuary where heroes can go and like work on their mental health. Every single person that read Heroes in Crisis was like, no.
Yeah.
They're like, no. That's why I'm like, do not bring back Young Justice. You will ruin these characters.
Uh-huh.
I'm like,
although to be fair though, if anyone who could do, and they could, I'm pretty sure they could have done it better.
This was the season that like severely, like they would have made it last longer. Okay.
True, but it all depends on how they would have done it.
Well, like, put it this way, that season of Young Justice shook my confidence in them. Honestly, it was the weakest season they could have done.
True.
But so let's see what else. So in terms of like, but yeah, it's like they're both. Except one is dealing with like superheroes having PTSD. Again, when you think about all of wait, I did want to ask your thoughts on the Clark panel. You mean the panel when Clark is giving a speech and Diana puts her hand on his shoulder very comfortingly? Britt and I have long said that is the only good panel in the entire book.
Right.
Because that's so what Diana would do. But I should have had that be the thumbnail. Damn it. Next time. But yeah, but in terms of like the story, and Robert, you were talking about it before we went on. It's funny how like, and by the way, Robert, yes, I did hear about that.
Yeah.
I did hear about that. And we'll talk about that in CLD. But it is interesting seeing my complete flip on Heroes in Crisis.
Yep.
Remember, I did a video defending Heroes in Crisis.
Yes, you did.
Because my video's point was, if you take away the Wally West stuff. Now, here's my reasoning for changing. That was before I was hyper focused on the Tom King stuff. And then once Tom King character assassinates your favorite character, then you're like, then you start to notice the same tropes and goes, oh, he's a one-trick pony. That's when you start to realize it. I'm going, okay, I see. Yeah, that was horrible. But again, it's like, okay. So in terms of now, which art style do you prefer, Rags or Clay?
Rags.
Rags. I think I like Rags a little more. It's a little more darker.
Yep. And again, nothing against Clay.
Oh, Clay is an incredible artist. It's just of the two, for the tone they're going off of, because Clayman works best for like a more hopeful story or about as hopeful as Batman can be. But it's like Rags Morales, his art is dark enough that it works really well for a story of this magnitude.
Exactly.
But again, both artists are fantastic. It's not like one is like, it's not like, oh, which one do you prefer? Because one obviously sucks.
Yeah, no.
Exactly. Both are awesome. But yeah, and in terms of, and what's up, Tevia? And so the way I would kind of like to talk with these two is like, I wonder if was Identity Crisis in any way editorially interfered with or mandated?
Yes.
It was? Okay, explain.
Again, the number of characters who got killed off.
Okay. Identity Crisis. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then Tevia says, hang on, I gotta highlight the comment. Honestly, I hate it because I gotta give Identity Crisis credit over Heroes in Crisis because at least Identity Crisis tried to do a mystery. So did Heroes in Crisis, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it tried to. Let me put it this way: tried to. That's the operative term with Tevi, because even as you say, Robert, the thing about it is like it makes you think one way that maybe it's the robot, but then it's just all of a sudden flips.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that. Could be that. But regardless, it's like, let me put it this way. I never want to crap on a story, but this is one of those ones where it's like, no, you really can't, like, you can't defend heroes. And I know it's kind of funny. This is about at least a modicum of respect I'll give Tom King. When he was on your show, even he admits that people hate Heroes in Crisis.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, I see that. I appreciate it. At least you're self-aware in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
But altogether, I would. How do you rate Identity Crisis out of 10?
On its own.
On its own.
An 8 out of 10.
On its own. 8 out of 10? Yeah, I'll give you that. 8 out of 10. I dig it.
As far as Heroes in Crisis, 5 out of 10.
I give it a 4.
All right.
I give it a 4 just because of the character assassination in the book. Because I'm ignoring all the BS that happened before and after, because obviously, again, on its own. But when you see particularly what it did to all these characters and the whole my like therapy is watching myself die over and over and over again. I'm like, no.
That's true. Now, and like I said, the fact that both of these were events that was used by editorial to push something, stuff further.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you that. And then Tavia says, well, okay, to clarify, basically what I mean by that is, I mean, with Heroes in Crisis, the story was trying to tackle mental health, but really didn't work. While Identity Crisis was trying to work on a murder mystery. I'll give you that.
Yep.
Yeah, that is true. And then Dave says, Tom King squanders his artist. I'd rather see a dozen Jim Lee level pencils, Aspar, than wasted talent on Tom King's direct. Yeah. Because here's the thing, everyone. I was on World Class Bullshit Shitters last night. And they were talking about how they go back to Aspar just for the Jim Lee art.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I'll be honest. I go there for issue number whichever the one with Green Lantern 8, I believe.
Yeah. Where she paints everyone yellow, which is like a glass of lemonade.
Yeah. Well, but I also love how that's the issue where everything finally started turning around.
Yeah, and here's the thing. When Tom King said that he was approached about continuing it, that's the one Batman story he could do.
Yep.
That's the one Batman story I'd be like, okay, I'll read that. That's the one.
Yep.
Because if there's one character that is this one writer that is tailor-made for a batshit crazy Batman, it's that one.
Right.
Yeah, and then Dave says Identity Crisis is an 8 out of 10, and Heroes in Crisis is a 2 or 3 out of 10. I'll give you that.
Right.
So, that's a good place to leave it. So a great story and a really crappy mistake. Let us know below your thoughts on Heroes in Crisis. And then Master Jai says, I personally think Jim Lee's art is overrated. Okay, personally, Greg Capullo is the best. Greg Capullo was great.
Well, yeah.
So I'm gonna play the trailer for Athena, and then we'll start our self promos.
My home has been invaded, my people slaughtered, and I could not do anything to stop it. Not again. I will not lose another home, another family. I am Princess Lyra of the planet Sintragar, Athena, the goddess of thunder, and this is my story.
All right. And the link to Back Athena is it should be in the description below. So as for Comics League, next week on Under Two Capes, since it's the 300th episode, we will be discussing 300.
Right. You should do the clip. Oh.
Oh yes, I should. Hang on. And by the way, Ask of Shy, that is my comic book that I've written, and the art is done by Dawson Riedrich. If you guys want to back it, the link should be in the description as well, but it's also in the chat. So go ahead and check that out. And so yeah, and Robert as brother. Something tells me we're going to be playing a lot of 300 clips next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, and for movie night, we're talking about Blue Beetle, a movie that is, you know what? The part it does great. The best part about it being separate from from either DC universe, well, but by separate I mean it doesn't explicitly reference them, is that it's not held back by either. So if the DCU collapses, let's say, it's not going to drag down Blue Beetle, and the DCEU stuff, it doesn't draw it down. And we're in the final 2 weeks of our DCEU review.
Right.
So that was fun, and we may do an MCU thing. We'll see. But the point is, so we have those two. Britt and I are going to be talking about how Mortal Kombat ruined Superman and Wonder Woman. We're going to be targeting like Mortal Kombat, NetherRealm. Yes, we're going to be talking about that stupid Wonder Woman concept art. And for Amazon Answers, I'm going to be comparing Wonder Woman 2009 to Wonder Woman Bloodlines. Spoiler alert, I like Wonder Woman 2009 a hell of a lot more.
Right.
And let's see what else. Yeah, that's about all I got. Robert, how about you, my brother?
I got a bunch of PTN still in in the work, and also ready, coming up at all that. I'm going to be seeing FNAF 2 this weekend.
Have fun with that.
Yep. And I'm still trying to get adjusted with my new job.
Mm-hmm.
So, but right when that's done and everything, I get acclimated with it, I will then start Kingdom Hearts.
And again, I want to reiterate, in terms of Super Pals, we will update you to the day what time the show is. Right now, there's a lot of like unknown for right now.
Yeah, because of my job. Yeah.
Trust me. Let me put it to you this way. I schedule the streams in the afternoon, and then and then obviously I will always tweet out when we're going live. So just go off of that for right now until we can get a firm schedule.
Exactly. So for right, and next week, it'll still be 4.
Yeah, exactly. And then in terms of Athena, be sure to back it or at least share it to someone that you think would enjoy it, because it's funding for 16 more days. In the event it doesn't get funded, I will relaunch with a smaller funding goal so you guys can get the book. It definitely will be. Anyway, has anyone seen, now you see me too, as the first one any good? I've never seen them.
Oh, I know of that. No, I have not. I know of it. No, I have not seen it though.
Okay, cool. But anyway, stay at work, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane, and Steve Trevor, Steve Never. She belongs to General Zod. He belongs in a hydraulic press. Oh, I want to see what it is about. I could do a fan art of it. Cool. The chat is the link to back Athena's in the chat. And if you post on Twitter and tag me, I'll give you a shout out. Anyway. And then, okay, Zois and Max about for life. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.